Okay, I think we are live now. Yeah, looks like it. I will just tweet the link to this. Just a second. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, I think now it's working. Sorry for that. I'm not sure. It's showing one watching, but I'm not sure that's not me for some reason. Uh, yeah, so I'm streaming this kind of unannounced, testing the new microphone. And also I need to create the symbol for the STM here, so for the PMIC. So why not just stream it? And since I wanted to have the whole process uh, of creating the board online on streams, then this is part of the process. So let's do that. I actually have not touched iCAD like this project since last I streamed. So here it is when we ended last time. I created a symbol for the CPU, and that is a lot of ends for sure. I need to again double triple check everything because you can never be too sure, but for now good enough. So maybe let's have a quick look at this STPMIC, which seems to be the recommended PMIC for the CPU, the new STM32MP1 family. Yes, it has 4 LDOs, an LDO for the DR3, which is gonna be fun to route that later on the board, and a USB. So it seems really specific for kind of this CPU, which is really nice actually, because you just drop it in and you're good pretty much. You have all the voltages you need. UFN, that's all right. I mean, looks like a standard PMIC, nothing out of the ordinary I can see here. Yeah, so let's have a look at the datasheet. Same stuff, same information here. Not much really about here. Can power up to 3 USBs. Yeah, exactly. So this is exactly what the CPU offers. You can definitely see they are made for each other. Right, an A, B, and C. The difference is some of the voltages. At this point, for the symbol, it doesn't really matter. Later, I will look more into it, like which one do they use on their discovery board. That's probably the easiest way to know that it's the right one. Not sure why they have like 3 variants of it. Maybe since the whole family is pin compatible, and I would assume like voltage is compatible, so one should be good enough. But maybe they have it for future CPUs, another family like CM32 MP2, something like that. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. So 1A, 1B are pre-programmed, and C is not programmed support custom. Looks good to me. And like I mentioned the previous stream, or actually on Twitter also, when looking at the discovery board schematic, I really like the symbol they made for this PMIC, that it actually shows exactly which inputs go to which outputs and how it kind of works like internally, which is quite useful when both when designing and actually later when you're just browsing the schematic, when if you're reading someone else's schematic, you don't have to like dig deep, you kind of just see it. If it was just a standard square schematic symbol with just like looks exactly like the physical part, then it would be really confusing. If like you would have to look deep into what exactly is happening there. So what do we have here? Right, the recommended passives for this typical application. I would assume this is pretty much a copy of what's in the discovery board schematic again, because they do all these things at the same time. So why would they change it? But that's something for later when I'm actually doing the schematic. For now, it's just the part. There it is. It's a QFN. Let's see, was it actually? Okay, so it's actually not a square QFN. That's quite interesting. That's not that popular, like not that common. Usually they're square, but there is nothing stopping them from not being square. It's just how they make them. So that's quite interesting. Point for pitch, that should not be a problem. I mean, for the CPU, we are dealing with a big PGA, large in size and large in the amount of balls it has. Even though, what was the pitch? I think that the pitch was 0.8 still, so that's render slowly. Exactly, the pitch is still 0.8 on the BGA because that's the smallest you can go with like these cheap Chinese manufacturers of PCBs. So that's what I'm sticking to, not going any lower for now at least. But yeah, QFN is not a problem. And yep, here the I2C like they mentioned above. And we can see that grouped together. So that should be analog that I've seen. Like if we look here, I mean, there is analog ground here actually, and that is the only one that I can see. Like just looking quickly here. But yeah, in the end, it's all gonna be the same ground. So that's gonna be nice and easy to make. I mean, the PMIC is usually not the difficult part, really. It's gonna be the fast, high frequency buses like the DDR and the DSI. Okay, I see we have two viewers. Could someone tell me, can you hear me? That's the first thing. And how do I sound? Like, how is the quality of the audio? Not really about my voice. So if you could write how it's sounding, and if you can hear me, maybe I should write also. I think the keyboard is a bit loud, like the microphone is gonna pick that up. Later maybe I can kind of increase, like add some filtering on some frequencies, something like that. But this is again a mic test, So let's see, I will later watch it and see what, like, how it sounds. Okay, so while I wait for some answer, maybe let's start on the symbol. Again, this is not gonna be the most exciting thing because I'm just gonna read the pins here and create a symbol based on that, and that's never really exciting, but it's something you have to do. I know for the CPU, for the previous stream, I went kind of insane, you could say, hardcore. That I did it all by hand. It took 5 hours, but I don't know. I kind of like it that way. I know you could automate at least parts of it, but like I said before, it's a very zen activity. Doesn't require much thinking, except as you saw, I missed quite a few pins. So always double check and triple check. So also, like I mentioned before, but the sound was really bad, so not sure who heard what I was saying. I know there's as many ways to organize your parts as there are people. Like everybody has their own way, and they're all probably equally as good, like as valid. So my way to do it is I take the name of the library that KiCad has, and then I just append a underscore extra to it. So they are next to each other. I can easily find them. So like, or except if there is none yet. So like here, this is where the CPU that I created is, and there is no CPU ST, so I just made a CPU ST. But for the PMIC, I believe those are in power management. That's where the PMIC are. So for that, I'm just gonna create a power management extra. But let me just verify where the PMIC battery management. That's quite right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go in power management. Yes. So let's create a new library. And again, for organizing how your files are like bundled with your schematics and so on, there's again many ways to do it. What I do is I have folders that are named the same that KiCad uses like internally. So if you go here in KiCad, you can see there's a library, and that's where all the system or the schematic symbols are. And then for the footprints, you have modules, and inside the modules, there's a 3D packages folder, or is it packages 3D, I believe? Yes, so that's exactly the same way I do it with mine. And it's one way to do it. There are many ways. They're all, you do whatever works for you. Network management extra, yes. And just for the project. And then I double check that the path is actually relative, because sometimes, not sure how it happens, or maybe it doesn't happen anymore. It used to be in the old versions. They fixed it, that it used to append the absolute path, and then if you share it on GitHub, it won't load for some people. So it takes a second to check, but it might be, yeah, it might remove some confusion later. So it's always good to check. And then add the new symbol 1. And it seems the ABC, they are all the same pinout, so I'm not gonna add that. Although I could add aliases, not sure if I'm gonna do that. And then we just add the pins. Not much to it. And again, reset, the way reset pins are named, it seems to vary between manufacturers and even between chips from the same manufacturers. So either you follow what the datasheet says, and then you kind of have it inconsistent if you use different parts from different manufacturers, or you you just have one consistent way that you like it and you keep it like that. Again, it's a preference, but you know, it's the little things. Interest. It says I/O, but I would not really trust that. I mean, why would I reset via an output? So let's go with just input here, and then we have a week, and that is an input. SDA is bidirectional. I guess, again, not so many people watching, just one right now, and I'm still not sure that's not me. So, because I randomly started this stream, like I didn't announce I was gonna do it. Even if I did announce, I don't know, people would tune in. So, but like I said, I have to do this, so why not stream it anyway? Maybe someone watches it later, skims through it, finds something interesting. Maybe not. I will just watch it later again just to see how the mic works. Hope it works well. I didn't get any confirmation in chat, but I can see the levels like going up and down in OBS. So hopefully that's going well. SCL, so the clock is an input. And I did the thing again where I flipped the pins because sometimes talking and writing is not so easy. So here it claims it's an analog input, but I think power in actually works better here because for actually V out, why? Oh, that's a bit confusing. I didn't look at it really, but no, the V out is an actual out. Yeah, so let's have that as power output, obviously, because ERC will complain otherwise. So, the out one, let me have a look again. Yeah, the out one, because it goes after the bug. Yep. I think that should be a power output, but ERC will correct me later, and it's not a lot of work to actually fix it later. So let's have it as long as it's consistent. And then we have ground, which if I name them separately, then I can't like group them together, and I would like that to do that. So it actually is kind of a decision right now how it should be done. I think I will just connect them together. I could have a look actually. How is it done? I have the discovery board right here, and as you can see, it's they just copied it to the datasheet. Yeah, so that should be our output because that's what the VDD core will take its flags, the power flags from, and ERC uses that. So yeah, that should be an output. Yeah, all the grounds are just regular grounds. So I'll just name them all ground and do the classic passive trick, marking them as passive. So the ground, which is a power input in this case, and I will put it to this side maybe. Yeah, later I need to put more on top. And then we have the VLX LX node buck converter, which claims as output. I'm really not sure. And here there's actually a different name. Or am I? No, I'm actually. This is that one. That is an output. That's correct. It doesn't matter that much because it's gonna go through an inductor there, so flags will get kind of lost anyway. But yeah, let's keep it like this. I think I will actually put this separate because I will need it later and it's gonna be easier to move. It's like this, and then finally we have our input in 8. And again, the annoying thing here is that if I go using the pin numbers, I'm gonna have to keep changing the type all the time. So since this is not so complicated, famous last words, I will maybe just jump around while doing this. So let's go for the next ground, which is pin 10 and visible passive. Again, I do this because there will be only one ground pin in the symbol, but when I connect that one, all the grounds will be connected together. That's another thing actually that I'm it's probably, the microphone's probably picking up my chair now. What I'm thinking about is how, like, basic level should I keep the stream at, like me explaining everything, like these ground kind of tricks. I mean, if people watching this are have used KiCad before a lot, they will know these things. So it's gonna be boring for them. But also, I don't wanna keep out the people who are just trying to get started. So maybe it's good to mention these things. Yes. This one, and I really don't like it when that cursor changes. Yeah, you never know when it's gonna crash. Where it's gonna crash. That's how you know it's a good tool. So this should be the third ground. Let's see, ground 1, ground 2, and this ground. Okay. Wow, these names are interesting. Sure, but at least they're descriptive, so can't complain too much. And then next ground. And the ground after that is 30. I think I'm gonna just start using the insert trick here. 30. The next one is 32, so I could actually do it like that. And then 41. And then the E-pad, which is gonna be 45. I remember correctly, the pad is just the next number after all the pins. So okay, that's wrong alignment. So let's see, how many grounds do we have? We have 1, 2. We have 8 grounds. Let's see if that is correct. If that matches what we have in the data sheet. So there's 1, 2. We could make it smarter. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's that one which was, I believe, GND, because consistency is, when it's consistent. But actually, let's check that one out. Is it Is there anything special about it? I mean, I wouldn't think so. Oh, they don't have the numbers here, but there it is. So that's like the main ground. But yeah, why tell it like all the other pins? Okay then. So we have 8, and then we can do maybe all the V out, and yeah, keep it at that. We have V out 2, pin 9, we have V out, not really V out, it's an LDO out, so that's not so helpful. Yes, pin 14, and the next out, LDO2 out, so actually the power input for 2 and 5, 1 and 6, yep, so they can't really have it ordered by like in numerical order because they have some common parts here and there, although there's a V out 3 there, V out 3 and no V, oh there's V out 4, okay, V out 3 is on 31, and then V out 4 is on 27, that takes care of those. What we can do actually, I don't know if that's gonna be useful, maybe not, I'm gonna lose it from my screen, from this half screen. Yeah, is that all the outs? I would guess not. There's the boost converter out. Okay, this is actually getting a bit, maybe it's better to actually just keep changing the types. Did I add pin 10? I do, it's a ground. Okay, so the next one is 11. And I see, I think, yeah, this is wrong. It's such an easy mistake to make. No good way around it. Actually, it was nice that I noticed it actually here. I said ground, which it shouldn't, because it should be the numbers. So that was useful. And so 11 should be PLX2, which is a power out. And then there's a VLX4. And there is a VLX3, I see. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's the 4. Oh, that's not VLC. We are 3 on 29. That's correct. Yes. And we go back to pin 12, which is back to in. And that's on 12. And that's an input, obviously. Okay, so that concludes these two here. Good, actually, no, never mind. Because you can hide these like this. So then I could put them side by side. But I actually want to see this just to see that I didn't screw up. It's a good way to make sure. Oh, Grogard. Hi. Can you hear me? That's the question, because I've been speaking for 30 minutes now and I hope it's recording like my sound. I guess there's the 20-second delay, so I have to wait for the response. But while I'm here, let's keep going. 13, I think so. The audio is a little low. I can actually increase the volume like this, because it was getting in like the yellow zone. I thought maybe that's a bit too high. I lowered, but now I increased it, so it should be good. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on this PMIC, creating the symbol. It's a bit like confusing, but there's a table here, so it's all good. That's better. Happy to hear. Probably gonna pick up my keyboard though, but I'm gonna try to could go even. That's actually the max there is, I believe. I think then I would have to add gain, but that might add some artifacts. So let's maybe keep it at this. Since there's no music, it's always possible to put the volume higher. Yeah, so pin 13. The exciting world of, yeah, the exciting world of creating symbols and talking about them, which makes it take longer. But maybe someone learned something. Yeah, maybe for next time I'll try to set some gain. Let's see how that works. The O3N on pin 13. Yeah, and then the ground, which I already added. This method of jumping around is actually not. I think it's confusing me more than actually helping here. Tried to be clever and failed. Oh well. Pin 16 vref for the DDR. I think I'm gonna do this. Makes it look better. And that is, again, it says output. Oh no, that's a ref. Oh, okay, it is an output. Okay, fine. That's gonna go somewhere later. We can decide. Power on key, interesting. And there's an internal pull up, so that's good. That's good to know. Go on key. It's an input. There it is. Let's put it next to like the functional keys here. Wake up. I should read more about that wake up later. I mean, I can't imagine it being something like different than you're used to your regular PMIC stuff. Yes, pin 18 is the LDO2 out, and that I can actually see. Obviously, it's an output. Yeah, this sock is pretty good, but of course, I couldn't. It would be too easy to go with the small pin number, so I went for the crazy amount because I don't know. I like to challenge myself. Let's say that. But also the big factor is that it has the 3G acceleration and DSI, which I'm quite interested in testing, because if I was gonna go for the smaller version, then what's even the point of switching from the SAM A5? I mean, it's on A7, sure, dual. It's gonna be faster, but otherwise, Yeah, exactly. I don't have to route everything, and that's my hope that with the SAM board again, I went full in, full out. That I try to route everything, and that kind of bit me in the ass. That it, yeah, it was not easy to route all those balls out, and this one is so many more that it's not even possible, I think, to route all of them on 4 layers. It's just too many. So I'm hoping I will just route what where is it? That I just route what I need, which I actually haven't really decided exactly what I need yet. But that's not the one. That one looks easy. That's and go for that one. There it is, 448. Because of course we can have a quick look at that one. I showed it on the first stream, but again the audio was so bad I don't know if anyone even understood what I was trying to say. And I can mention that I said that the whole family of the 32MP1 is pin compatible, but I wasn't 100%. It does say that on the website, but I wasn't sure because if it doesn't have the DSI and like the GPU and some functionality, like it only has the lower models have only one CDR bank available. Like you can only use one bank, so how can they be pin compatible if half of the pins are not used? And I did check the datasheet for like the one, I don't remember, it's 27, I think. And yes, they are pin compatible, just like the DSI pins are just unused. So yeah, it's the only reason is really if I'm guessing they're gonna be cheaper. So that's the only reason, cost saving, because routing is gonna be pretty much the same. Like you can't really route like on those unused balls anyway. And someone on Twitter asked, what about closing off the solder mask and routing under that? But I'm not sure if that works like that, because I mean, when the BGA reflows, the balls kind of like they reflow and the BGA kind of settles in a bit lower. So if the BGAs, the balls don't have copper under them, will they actually reflow? I'm obviously not, because there's nothing to stick to to say it. Yeah, to use the technical term of sticking. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's a possibility with a BGA to just not have copper under some of the balls. Would be interesting to see though. Just reading the chat now. Yeah, but it's hard to assume if they're actually like totally not connected like electrically inside the die, because you could have a trace just going under those balls and just connecting them all together. But I'm not sure if you want to do that. That's probably STM would not recommend that. And that's another, yeah, they could be ground. They could be, maybe it actually says in the datasheet. I just glanced over it, so I haven't. It just says, what did it say? Unused. So it's not like do not use, not pull down, pull up or something. It just says unused. So it's hard to say. But where were we? This thing. And again, I lost my place. I think it was 19 next, correct? Yeah, it's faster than doing the 448 for sure. But it's been 40 minutes so far, but I've been talking, so that's definitely slower. It would have taken a lot faster if I wasn't doing this live, but oh well, let's do it like this. Yes, so pin 20 is what? LDO 5. I'm not sure if I don't want it. No, that's So I actually have not added the rest of the 5 pins, because these two are done. This is actually, these two are not related, because that's the back and that's the LDO. So I should not keep them together. But later when I'm moving them around in a symbol, it would be clear, but just for now for me. Yes. So for 19, LDO 25 in. Oh my gosh, so many LDOs now. 2 and 5. Which is kind of sucky on like symbol. How do you draw 2 and 5? I guess they found a way. 2 and 5. Right. Oh, that's actually quite elegant, I have to say, and I will totally steal this in my symbol. Yeah, like I mentioned, I really like this. It's really clear exactly what's happening, and I'm actually gonna do it slightly differently here, but that's not really important here. But I even have math here, which is nice. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That probably someone smarter spent a lot of time on figuring out the layout. So why not borrow it, quote quote? I mean, that's why they have the datasheet. That's why they published the discovery board schematics. It's so you can copy it. I mean, this is the recommended way of doing. So there's really no way of getting around that. Like, why would you reinvent the wheel? Or what is it? Kick in an open door. Let's not do that. So easy to get lost talking and talking. 21. 1 is LDO 6. Let's put this here. And 22 is input for hi, 22. Yes. Really, it's easy also to get distracted reading the chat, but that's boring for the people who are listening. So let's try to not do that. This will go on the side also. Yeah, that's true. That I mean, still part of the schematic. If you're never gonna copy like the discovery board or any reference board like exactly, because then you would just buy that one. You're always gonna add some stuff and customize. So that is one thing. And yeah, definitely there is a lot of uniqueness in the PCB layout. Although I also did actually for the SAM board, I did look at how they laid out the decoupling and all the capacitors on their module on the what is it, like SOM1, because that one was one-sided load, like all the parts were on one side, and it's the same for me since on my portable Linux board I have the display and the keyboard on one side, so I don't want parts under them, especially under the keyboard. Like under the LCD, maybe. Yeah, SOM1, exactly. So I borrowed a bit from that. I mean, again, someone spent many hours. Why not use that in some way? And I guess there is also something to the PCB actual like shape, like the API of the PCB, like the feather, like you did. Actually, that, I mean, that defines, you make it compatible with so many boards. Hi, Thomas. Nice to have you. Sorry, got distracted by notification. Exactly. So you still use a like well-defined shape and pins of the feather, but you have to work around it to make sure that your board, that your layout and everything and chip and all the parts actually fit on the board. So that's actually, I would say, more difficult because you're constrained by where the power connector, the battery connector is. So you have to put the PMIC kind of next to it, which you did, and all that stuff. Yeah, exactly. So it's quite nice to do like a breakout board like I'm doing, because I kind of, it's more freestyle in that regard. Of course, I'm limited that I put the connectors for the different peripherals so they are easy to route. So that's nice. Like the DSI should be somewhere close to where the DSI balls are, because you don't want to route those like on the inner layers and through the whole board and so on. So it's nice for the for the first like breakout board to be freestyle, and then later I kind of, again with my Linux portable, my Logon board, which I guess I think I announced the name. Then for that one I kind of have a shape that I polished over like 7 or 8 revisions of the board with very minimal changes. Back when I was still using the NRF52, I kind of found a perfect shape and dimensions of it that I really like, that it fits well in the hand, and I think it's very easy like to type on the keyboard and so on. So now again, I'm gonna be constrained by that, but the board is big enough that I think it shouldn't be that difficult to actually route it. And I'm hoping to actually design the breakout board in a way where I can kind of drag and drop big parts of it to the new board. Because why would you start over when it takes hours, days to do this? You want to reuse as much as possible, like in code, obviously. Yeah, now I'm super lost. 23. Almost done. And I'm reading the chat. I don't know how people do it. Like, I mean, I have 2 people and it takes I get distracted, which is a good thing because there's this interaction. So that's really nice. But people, if they have hundreds, and there's people who have thousands when they live stream, there's just no way to get like involved with everybody. So this is quite nice. And how do you like pay attention to what you're doing if the chat is just there going by? And actually have it set to top chat, which doesn't make sense. I guess it doesn't really matter also, because with 2 people there, everything is top. 23 is video 1. And again, that doesn't seem related to those bugs. Let's put it. Yeah, this works. Yeah, juggling, and also the chat is on the other screen that I have to decide. So I'm kind of also moving my head away, which I'm not sure if you can hear on the microphone, because the microphone is to the left side. If I look to the right, I wonder if that changes the volume or it sounds strange. So let me know how is that. how that is working. Since this is still a test more than a real live stream. It's using the test streams for the boring parts of creating symbols and getting lost yet again. 24. Okay, that's good. There's no difference, no noticeable difference. Yeah. Yeah. No idea where it is. Oh no, that should go actually here, right? All right. Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, Thomas, I don't think it could be any worse, so anything is better. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. I actually think one thing is that I used a headset which had the jack that has the microphone and headphones all in one, like in one jack. But I'm using a PC which has a dedicated microphone, not plug, but not connect, whatever. So I plugged that in. So maybe it shorted somehow the mic with the headphones, and it was introducing some strange artifacts. Or I also added noise suppression in OBS, and I think that actually added more like this watery sound. It removed the background noise, but it distorted my sound a lot. Like I couldn't believe how bad it was when I was watching it later. It was so bad. So yeah, so this microphone was 299 kroner, $30. But I think it's worth it if it works well. I also did some settings in OBS, some high pass, low pass filtering, and a bit of gain on certain frequencies. I'm hoping it's picking up nicer. U-boot overlays, yeah, that's something I definitely want to try, because I mean, you don't want to recompile the DTB all the time, like as an end user of the board. That's not something you want to do all the time. So if you can just compile, or even you can, as a maker of the board, deliver a library of just overlays. That's so nice for the user. Like I know on the Raspberry Pi, really convenient. So that's something I want to look into later. But it is, I don't know. It's hard to keep the interest up, like for myself, a bit in the software, even though I work at more software than hardware professionally, and like I've been doing hardware only for a few years and software since I've been a teenager. Or maybe that's why, because I've done it for so long that it's not as exciting anymore. So it's always more exciting to make a new board and then bring it up, and then you get it to work mostly, and then it's kind of like, okay, now I'm kind of bored with it. What board can I do next? It's really hard, that last, I don't know, 20% or something, which is gonna be software and configuration. It's always hard to do that, and that requires some external motivation, for at least for me. So I'm also hoping that streaming the whole process of creating this board and later bringing it up, if I can build up interest in it, then that helps me. That helps me just get motivated. And if it helps someone learn something about just electronics, KiCad or Linux later, then that's just an added bonus. So yeah, I'm streaming for selfish reasons, but hopefully helps others also. And I mean, it's a way for us to hang out also, so that's really nice. We can it's a very different interaction, I think, that like Twitter, which you just type and it's asynchronous. Obviously, this is very real time. And I was thinking actually of bringing up some people like to join, so it's kind of half a podcast, like you have someone via whatever Skype. No one uses Skype anymore, but some voice chat thingy, and you can discuss something as we're both working or as I'm working. I'm not sure how to kind of do that, because if I'm streaming, then people are gonna see what I'm doing, not what the other person is doing. So yeah, these are the things that would be nice to figure out, but I'm hoping they will kind of come like organically somehow. And I again lost the pen. Oh my gosh, I should write on paper and something. Right. Back. I'm actually surprised that I managed to talk for so long. Like, the previous stream was 5 hours. I obviously didn't speak for 5 hours. I didn't speak for 5 hours. But for the first 2 hours, I think I did not shut up. Maybe that's why everybody left. I don't know. But I'm impressed. I'm finding ways to talk. And definitely, now we have 4 people watching, which is really exciting. And we beat the record of previous one. Probably not, because it was actually kind of announced. This is super random. Just testing the microphone. I think the fact that you're writing and I can respond to it, that's really cool. Okay, Thomas, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, and I lost. This is so useful. I mean, how could I live without this? I would have to track even more. BST LX node for the boost converter. I mean, all right, because these are bucks and this is a boost. Yes. And that is input. And it's a totally separate thing. Yeah, I hoped I was gonna be done with like the whole thing in an hour, but clearly not. It's been 58 minutes and I'm somewhere in the middle, maybe. 34 is the boost out. Would be interesting if you put like out in here, it would actually change, but I can see how that could be also annoying and buggy and so on. It's not so often that pins are actually named out and they're like outputs, even though like for clocks or, oh no, you can't. No, you cannot. Because a clock could be on the slave side or on the master side, so you don't know if it's an input or output. I guess for SDA, you could know that it's gonna be bidirectional, but yeah. We need some AI in KiCad. And now that I said that, I thought of Clippy, and maybe that's not the best idea. Looks like you're trying to make a PCB. Would you like some help? No. Oh, hi, Vivino. Yay. We have returning viewers. Power output switch, exactly. So this has the built-in boost for OTG, which is really nice because yeah, in KiCad. I mean, AI for like boring things where like you have to select the type or other things. I can't think of a good example right now, but there are things that could probably be automated and like, yeah. Oh no. Okay, never mind. But yeah, like I was saying, it's really nice that it has OTG, so it can actually, as we can see here, which one was it? Yeah, our switch. I'm assuming that pretty much gets connected if not directly to the ID pin of a USB OTG, then through the CPU. So that's gonna switch if it should sync or provide power based if it's an OTG or a host. Like, yeah, that's host or device. So that's really useful. I really like that these manufacturers make PMICs like dedicated exactly to this CPU. It makes life a lot easier. Because just imagine having 5 voltages and then having 5 separate, or like few LDOs and a few boost, a few bugs. That's no fun. Guess what happened? I lost my place. 36. No. Be in. What could that be? Called VN, but it's for LDO4, and everything else has an. I don't even want to get into that. I'm saying it's not very clear. But is it in the actual symbol? Yep, it's called VN because it's for the. I guess that's the power for the whole like actual PMIC logic and stuff. Or maybe not. Or on. Maybe. So that was 36. 37 is SWIN. SWN. You can turn on power. Where do you connect that? Because obviously you can't connect that to the CPU because that would just, like, you would not be able to turn it back on. It would just die. So, oh, PST out. That's strange, or maybe not. Okay. So this is the one that you actually, I guess, connect to the USB, although they're both connected to the same. Yeah, I'll have to figure out later. How hard can it be? I wasn't following so closely. So Vifino, how's your? Is that even how you pronounce it, or am I butchering it totally? How's your CAN board? I saw some photos on Twitter, but I wasn't following it very closely. So what's the stage of that? Is it software bring up, or is there even any software? Did it have an MCU on it? I'm curious. And you should, like, for other listeners later or something, you should definitely follow all these people on the chat on Twitter because they post good stuff and they do good stuff. And we should get Grogard to CCC at some point. Hi, Kilobyte. Yeah, now the sound. I'm not underwater anymore, even though I'm still streaming. Oh my gosh, that's the worst fun ever, I think. Losing my place. Right, software is an input, which makes sense. And it goes somewhere. Let's put it here for now. And then 38, we have your output, which is power output. So I would guess it's a power output. Let's assume that until we see that it is not. LDO4 out, I did not add. Oof, almost done with the pins. Then I have to like draw all these tiny graphics in KiCad, which, yeah, I will have to probably keep changing the grid because that's always fun. But I think it's worth it. like to a point. If I spend 5 hours on it, that might be not worth it. But if I keep it under, like if I can do it in the next hour, it's all good. 39. That's an output. Goes like that. Now I'm gonna read the chat, so that's boring for you. Right, the 32F072F0, I think that's a crystal-less USB, isn't it? Because I know N Jens from Twitter, like we know each other in real life, he made a board with that at one point. CAN should work. That's good. I actually I never worked with CAN, like I mentioned on the previous stream, so much. I mean, obviously I heard about it and I've seen it around. And now crystals is nice. And I had an idea way back for an interesting project. I mean, and I was considering using CAN, but the project never took off. You know how it is. The project was, and these days it's gonna sound like such an old idea, but way back, like, where was this? Like 5 years ago, it wasn't that played out. It was a kit for teaching electronics to kids and so on, where each kind of module was its own thing, like a sensor or a potentiometer. Like I think there is a kit called Little Bits these days, but I think before that, because I have not seen that at that time, and I was wondering how, and like they should all be able to connect to kind of each other and also to a master, which would then you would have a graphical interface where you could drag kind of how they should interact, like the input from this potentiometer should go to this LED, and the master block isn't that from Lego? Never mind. Master block would kind of set everything, all these logics. So I was looking to Canvas if it could do that, and I think the conclusion was that Canvas was actually possible to do that. And let me see, because I made at an earlier time, I made a project, this PC software in Qt, where actually you could kind of simulate simple logic devices. Not really, let me see. It's easier to show. It was called Framework, because I'm not really good at names. Exactly. So this is from 5 years ago. That's about the same time. So I've made this. Should be able to see this. Yeah. So this was the UI that you can drag logic gates. So you can use the logic between nodes. Like these were on-off switches through a logic gate into a hex, to a hex display. So hex 4-bit, stuff like that. So my idea was, this was like, I was 5 years ago, I was a bit into actual like hardware, but don't remember if I was actually making my own boards at that time. That was more the idea. So the idea was to actually have these nodes be physical things, and you would connect the master to a PC. It would detect automatically all these nodes, and you just drag them, connect them, and things happen. That would be the way to learn kind of electronics. And never took off. And there's many like Kickstarters and products that you can buy these days. But I'm not sure if they have this UI, which I think that was quite unique, that it was connected to the actual hardware. Although now that I think Little Bits had this thing where you can take a photo from an iPad and it detected the node. So maybe like it wasn't smart in that way that it reported back, but it did have some logic there. Yeah, I used to, before I did embedded, I used to do like PC software a lot in Qt. I wrote so many different random programs in Qt. So yeah, that was pretty fun. And then I kind of went lower level with embedded, and that's where I am right now. But I still like to use Qt when I have to write something. Like the compositor in my Linux board, that's QML, because it was easy to write for me, so why not do that? But yeah, it's open source. It's maybe I should look at it. It's always old code is gonna look bad when you look back at it. You always learn something new since then. Thanks. So, not even a joke anymore that I lose my place, because it just happens all the time. But I just went on a rant for like 10 minutes, so maybe that's justified that I totally lost my place. Internal LDO, so that's the actual power. Okay. That's an output? What? I thought that was what was powering the logic, but apparently not. Nope. I am confused. Yeah, I most of my programs with Qt like 5 years ago were C++. Like, I know these days maybe it's heresy to say, but I'm a big fan of C++, even though C++ like with Qt, that's almost like its own language. Like you don't use any standard library, and when you delete an object, it removes all its children. So memory management is like it's almost garbage collecting. So it's not your regular C++. Speaking of C++, like the C++20 standard, I have been away from C++ for a few years because I've been doing embedded, and I can barely recognize C++ anymore. Like I use lambdas, and the auto keyword is useful sometimes, but at this point, oh my gosh, people do such things with template lambdas that I don't know what is happening. It's like I have to learn it all over again if I wanted to go back. But yeah, recently I've been using Python with Qt, and that works really well. And recently Qt actually released their own official bindings, because the previous bindings were for like just people made them. Now it's Qt making them. So that's also really nice to have the support. And I think they're based on PySide in a way that they're somewhat compatible. Like you don't have to rewrite if you had a PySide program before. So that's quite nice. And now I'm reading the chat, so I'm quiet. Yeah, I like my clicky things. I like my GUIs. I've been using Windows for the longest time. Like on my kind of laptop where I do my coding and bring ups, I have Linux. But on my main PC here, where I do KiCading and 3D stuff, I have Windows. And yeah, I don't mind it. Windows 10, alright. The icons are super ugly. The folders are terrible flat. They have no color to them. But yeah. Yes, internal LDO 40. see. So useful. Okay, so this voltage level decides the voltage level that. Oh, except these. Okay, for all the digital inputs and outputs. That's cool. I mean, it's gonna be probably connected to 3.3, but it's good they give the option. They add some flexibility there. I don't think anyone would use this PMIC for anything else than this CPU, but sure. Go for it if you want to, and it's not an output. It's an input. And an interrupt for what exactly? I guess you can set some events it can interrupt on. Maybe it interrupts on power key or in, no, because then we'll see. Gotta read. Let's add this last one so I won't have to go back, and then I can check the interrupt. Power control. Okay, that's all the pins. That's useful. And that's gonna find all the things. Okay, so that's not super useful. I wonder if this is, because that's data brief, maybe there's a manual also that would actually explain. Or maybe you just have to check like the source for this thing, which I hope is mainlined. I think STM said that, sorry, reading the chat. STM said that the support for the boards and the chip is mainlined, so hopefully we could actually have a look at it. Yeah. Where is that gonna be actually? Is it gonna be in power? Okay, let's say STPMIC1. It was in regulator. So that's cool. And there you go. So reading the Linux, the kernel documentation is actually providing more info on this than the data brief. Maybe there's a data sheet. Let's say, is the GPU mainline? I heard so. I never used this. What was it called? Like Vicante? I heard so. Let's see. Where was it? Right. I remember. Vivante, not Vicante. Vivante. And I believe that was actually supported in the kernel in the mainline. No, that's not. Or, because I did look at this during the previous, or the chip. So maybe not everything is supported and they're waiting for next release. So maybe it comes in the kernel 5 version. Exactly. I know people on Twitter have been mentioning that it is the GPU itself is supported, but I don't know if the GPU, like together with this SOC or with the CPU, or is actually supported right now. But if you go to STM, what is it? STM. It's not called STM. No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So in the mainline kernel, the ST, the DTS, DTSI doesn't have a listing for the GPU, but in the STM fork of the kernel, it's there. So, STM, come on, watching me Google things is not the most interesting stream. Yeah, it would be so nice to have Mesa and on a portable board in a simple-ish way. Because I'm even lucky that it's not so long ago that Qt added a software renderer for QML. It used to be that it required hardware acceleration. So just not so long ago, I wouldn't even be able to run that compositor on my SAM board because there's no hardware acceleration. I guess it's that one. But now it's possible. So yeah, which version? Yeah, it's 4.19, so that's pretty darn new, I would say. 32 MP1. Let's say 57. The chip and the decay. Yeah, exactly. So it is there in the fork. But if we go for on master, it's not there. So hopefully they push it. But for now, it's pretty good. It's nice to see that these vendors actually try to keep to like recent kernels and actually try to push back to mainline, and even if their kernels are fairly close to the mainline, they make very little changes, very few. Because if you look at like Broadcom or Qualcomm, there are kernels that are used on Android that is almost unrecognizable to the mainline. It's just hacks on hacks, and the code is super low quality. Like, yeah. I guess it's because I'm thinking if I can say this, but it is public that like when I worked at Sony on the Smartwatch 3, I worked with the Broadcom kernel, and that's actually open sourced because it's the kernel, so they have to on the Google source repo. And that, oof, let's not do that again. Yeah, all winner, exactly, that is. But they've been trying to push to mainline, I think, quite a lot recently. I don't know if they got some, if it's even all-winner people or it's just people trying to backport from the all-winner kernel into the mainline. Just, you know, random people doing that. Waiting now. Okay, so let's do this. I have all the grounds here. I guess we do a rectangle. That's the didn't work. Again, I said this before. It would be nice if you could set the default fill style. Like I'm always using the body background. So give me an option to do that. I thought there was an option, but I checked on the last stream and I couldn't find it. Maybe it's like in this schematic editor for strange reasons, but I don't think so. Just reading the chat. Where did my 0 point go? It's gone. It doesn't really matter right now. I might need it later. Okay, let's shamelessly steal this whole layout. So, and then the ground will obviously go on the bottom here. Something's not right here, definitely, I can see. Now, if only I knew which one. It's the one with 4 at the beginning? Nope. Or the other? Nope. So 3. Yes. Okay. Anything. Oh, actually, I remember now. I wonder how is the stream doing? Like the video, is it okay quality and all that? Because during the previous stream, because my PC actually is using a wireless network connection, but for the previous stream, I actually pulled out a cable and connected directly to my router just to make sure there was no hiccups. But if this is doing okay, then I don't really need that anymore. And I'm not doing that today because I forgot, because it was so, yes, let's try the stream. Unplanned. Yeah, all winner. It's similar to like Chinese phone vendors. They don't really release their kernel sources, even though they, you know, obviously are supposed to, but they're so big and they care so little. Like I think MediaTek, like, not so good. Well, obviously that's not a phone manufacturer, but devices running MediaTek stuff are not really releasing those sources. Okay, the video and audio is great. That's good to know. I'm really happy with this microphone, so that's good. So back in, and then these two are here. Actually, I do wonder, because I usually don't draw inside, but yeah, that's not gonna work. And that's gonna see. So maybe this one time it makes sense to, now that I cannot have it like this. This is fine. And there's no way to make a new line, I think. I don't think that works. Centered. It's not centered. Oh no, if I'm gonna have to spend so much time making sure. How did that happen? Kinda better, but if you squint, never mind. This is gonna be the next hour of the stream. No, this is maybe I. Yep. Skip it. And that's where the grid comes in. Yeah, there is a problem also in how this is drawn. Because if I draw a line here, it's gonna go right on top of that. Yeah, exactly. Let's not do that. Do they even have arrows? I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna go that way. Let me just contradict myself. Oh no! Need to enter that escape. What the? No one will care about this, but yes, the footprint for the USB is tested on multiple boards, and I'm really happy about it. And it took me quite a while to actually find the drawing for it, because now I found it from LCSC, but when I first found this, actually it wasn't me, it was Jens again. He found it on AliExpress. There was no, AliExpress, there was no drawing, no datasheet. There was a symbol, kind of, like you had to Google part of it, and I found some Chinese website with PDF, and the PDF took 10 minutes to download, even though it was like 1 meg because China. So it was quite a struggle, but I'm happy it worked out, and now it's available from LCSC, so that's really nice. So happy you're using it. Nice, really cool. If someone of you wants to try and get it into the KiCad mainline symbols, then go for it. I just don't have the nerves. But yeah. I rarely use these lines. So I don't, I'm forgetting you have to double click or enter. I didn't send. I think first I'm gonna put all the pins because then I can decide how wide the symbol actually should be. Oh, this is design job. Okay, that's a prototype. It looks kind of strange. I'm guessing you can't see it because it's so tiny here, but you can kind of see the holes if you zoom out, which is strange. But yeah, if someone wants to try get it into the KiCad footprint library, go for it. It might actually be easier to get, like at least for things I create, to get into the KiCad footprints rather than symbols, because the way I create symbols is a bit different than the like the KiCad guidelines, which I also mentioned on the previous stream. But I think it's unescapable. Like I will repeat myself. The way ooh, 1 hour of talking, almost 2 hours. The way I make my symbols is that, like, I put, as you can see here, ground on the bottom on the left side, and then the VDDs go on the top here, but still on the left side. But the KiCad guidelines, they say it should be on the bottom side, the grounds, and then the power inputs should be on the top. And it's different, obviously, and I don't I don't like it, because also obviously because otherwise I would be using it. But I have a reason. It's not just because I'm fussy or something. It also has to do with the way I put decoupling and caps. Is that I like them. I know the way they put them here, actually, that you can see exactly where the caps are connected. I know many people do it. They just have a block, a huge block of caps to the side. They're kind of floating there, and that way, if you do that, floating to the side, then you have the very simple schematic of your power power connections, because it goes out and then it goes into a symbol, and that's it. There's no extra stuff. But since I like to keep them together, then having, one pin here and then 4 caps to the side, that's all right. But then you have another one, and what can you do? Okay, you go to the right, and then you have another, and now you're screwed. Now you could go like high and go again to the left, like above. But if you have 6 or something, then it becomes this pyramid of caps, and it's super hard to read. So, and if you have it here, you just go to the left and down, and it makes it really nice to read. So that's my reasoning why I draw it the way I draw it, and they have their way, and yeah, I don't do it that way. So that's why I never tried, but I'm guessing they would not accept it, not accept my symbols, because it doesn't follow the guidelines. But footprints you kind of have to do, there's only one way to do it. Like there's a drawing, you copy the drawing, and that's done. You have to add the silk, you have to add a courtyard, and then you're good. So those might be easier to get in. Like I haven't created a footprint for the BGA yet, and it's like you saw it here. I'm not gonna show it, but it's a special because it has holes. So I'm fairly sure it's not there in KiCad because it's so it's not standard. I got distracted by the chat. So I'm gonna have to create a custom one for that, and might just push it because that should be really simple. There's a generator for that. I'm just gonna use the wizard for BGAs and then remove some of the balls. That's it. You're done. So don't see why they wouldn't accept that one. Yeah, there is definitely some benefit to having the symbol match the footprint, the pinout, but it gets like, I see why you would do it, because then as you're designing the schematic even, you know if things will, like if it would be easy to break some pins out and how to connect them. But I don't know, it kind of like it's not that useful after some time. Like if you, yeah, exactly. I can see how that's useful, but on the other hand, it makes for a cleaner schematic if you actually put things logically together, things that are together, yeah, like USB pins. Let's say if you have two USB ports, they might be in totally random place, like on the opposite sides of the chip. But it would be nice to have them actually next to each other on the symbols. I think it is helpful. Like even, what was it? I think it used to be, or at least maybe it's in the datasheet for the Nordic, the NRF52. The symbol there is, it looks exactly like the chip. And again, when you look at it, kind of confusing, like, okay, there's power here and here and here, and then there's some GPIOs here, and then SVD is there, NFC is somewhere, you don't know. So when, like, I always created my own symbol for the NRF, and I even did it on a board basis. Like I edited the symbol based on what my board needed, which GPIOs I needed for specific peripherals and so on, and I grouped them like that. And I think it's so easy to do in KiCad that there is really no excuse not to do it. And I like a clean schematic, and I think that helps. But sure, I mean, if it helps you with the routing, then you go for your way. I don't see why not. Yeah, making a symbol for a BGA that looks like the BGA, how would that even look? But yeah, I think this is actually a good example also, kind of against designing it the way the chip looks. Because here you have a really nice drawing of how it logically is connected inside. You have the inside, out, and if you drew this just based on how the footprint looks, how the chip looks, it would be a lot, I think it would be a lot harder to understand what the heck is happening. Or maybe not. Again, to each their own. VN is somewhere. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish this whole thing today. Like I can place the pins, but doing all the drawings, they're quite elaborate. And actually, this is too much, I think, writing like power supplies, control it, that's too much. The LDOs make sense. I will just skip this whole block, I believe. It's just too much and it doesn't help. Like, I think it's fairly obvious that SCL and SDA go into an I2C block. You don't need that. Yeah, like I mentioned, my uni degree is computer science, and there was no hardware involved in that like at uni. So it was all software and generic computer science, like databases and graphics. Also a lot of math, too much math. So all my electronics, like e-knowledge, is just me failing and learning from that failing and stealing quote quote stuff from like data sheets like this and watching videos, and everything is self-taught. So there I definitely can still do some newbie mistakes because I just don't know. I don't know any better. There's holes in my knowledge. But yeah, trying to fill those in through more failing. That's a good way. It's actually nice that this is really cool that the resistors will just go here really close. You don't have to drag them out. But yeah, they won't be this close because a resistor can't really fit in there. So and they actually don't have the resistors here anyway, because I guess they have one by the CPU, because why not? But yeah, I want to say thanks for hanging out with me. It's really cool to have you guys here and to bounce off like ideas, off of you and talk, kind of interact. It's really cool. That's actually why I wanted to stream, because you get that interactivity, and that's really cool. And if we get to talk about some stuff that other people might find useful later if they ever watch, that's super nice. And even if it makes me super slow at this KiCading, yeah, what do you think of my on-screen keylogger? I thought it was a good idea to have it for doing KiCad, so it actually shows what I'm pressing, so people, sometimes you press things, yes, you don't think about it, you just muscle memory, and with the 20-second delay, if someone asks, what did you just do? I will have no idea. What did I do 20 seconds ago? What did I press? I'm hoping that this keylogger helps. Maybe someone finds some new cool shortcuts, key shortcuts that are useful for them. Probably lost place. Reset. But I think actually after I double, triple, quadruple check the CPU symbol, and I finish this one and double, triple, quadruple check it, I can actually get started on the schematic, because everything else should be already in KiCad, or it's gonna be small things. So maybe yeah, there's no I actually read an article at some point that it's kind of dangerous to claim that like computers are magic, because it discourages like curiosity. People just assume it's magic, it's not supposed to be understood, and that's just wrong. We all know that. Like, you should be curious. You should take apart things and see how they work. Right. Speaking of, I was supposed to take apart this microphone to see where's the place I should speak to actually. So yes, I try to stay away from saying that things are magic, but sometimes they feel like, and it's hard to not say that. Yes, these two. Ooh, that concludes this side. Let's move to this side and save. I think this symbol is gonna be like taller than this. I will have to add extra space because some of these boxes here are quite big and complicated. But I actually learned something interesting recently that seems so obvious when you know it, but if you, I had this problem before, even with my SAM. Again, that's my like most recent board, so I just come back to it. I had the problem that one unit of a symbol was really, really tall because it had so many things in it and some extra drawings inside that was barely fitting on the page, on the A4 page. And you could change it to A3, but and it's harder to print and stuff. And a friend showed me, because he also does PCBs, he showed me that for that, when you have this problem, you can just change the page to be in portrait. And obviously, like, how could I not have thought of that? I don't. That gives you, because usually the pages of the schematic that are really tall are not very wide. Like, there's not so much stuff on the sides. So just flip that sucker to portrait and you're good to go. It's tall enough and it has all the things you need. So yeah, it's silly to say, like, obvious, it's so obvious, right? But it wasn't for me, even though I knew. I mean, it's not here, that option, it's in this schematic editor. So yeah, keep that in mind for next time. And I'm sure I will use it in this, because for example, this one will be tall, and I will definitely do that. So what else is everybody working on? What other boards? Or not boards, software, or 3D printing? What's happening? What's happening in the chat? Sorry. Where was I think I'm gonna just put these symbols here and then call it a day because we're coming close to 2 hours. That seems like enough for a test stream. Then on the next stream I can finish this, and I think for the stream after that I can actually look at Cube, the STM Cube software, because STM claims they have support for the CPU there. So that should be really helpful to kind of find out which peripherals I should use and on which pins. That should make for a nice layout. So I need to decide that before I can actually start with the schematic. And then the schematic, a stream in 30 parts. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I just, after the Samboard, trying to be realistic. LDO for out. And so the A ground, was there an A ground in the pin list? Because I missed that. Oh, there it is, 41. Maybe I should, at least for now, until I only 30. Yeah, if they're all like, if they're all 5 hours, then 30 might be enough, I guess. 150 hours, that seems reasonable. Well, not really, but that seems doable to make the whole thing in 150 hours. My sanity might be gone, but that's, you know, don't need that thing anyway. But yeah, if, like I mentioned also, if any of you would like to kind of join on the stream with sound, or if it's somehow possible also with, I don't know, your screen being streamed half and half. I don't know if that's really, that would be a good idea. Like, it sounds distracting. But if you want to join to talk on the stream, let me know via Twitter, and I'm sure we can arrange something. There's always stuff to talk about. Apparently, I've been just blabbering 2 hours. Nice. Yeah, I wonder if we could do it somehow. I never really watched it, but I've seen and heard about the Adafruit show and tell, where I believe what happens is they, like, people just join and show their projects and you talk about it, and I think that could be interesting. I don't know if I could KiCad and talk about projects, because as you can see I get distracted, but it's something to try. I mean, why not? If other people find it interesting and they can learn about your projects, then why the heck not? Nice. Was it with your was it with the Sam Feather? What is it called? The big board, huge board, giant board? Yes. Yeah, exactly. Because if you stream Hangouts, then I think it changes it shows the stream of the person who's talking. So it would, or maybe the person who's hosting can select. Like if you have a camera, you can just show that. Yeah, I remember Giant Board. It just took me a few tries. I'm gonna stream. I should stop saying because that's just annoying. I haven't done much public speaking. This is a bit different because you're not in front of an audience, but should still work on that speech thing. Yeah, that's true. Hangouts is ending in like October, I think, for private people, and then a bit later for companies, or was it the other way around? I've been using Hangouts for like since it was Gtalk, and I like it quite a lot. It's, I mean, simple and does what it should, so really sucky. Yeah, so sorry, Vifino, that you're learning it here, but yeah. I mean, there are like at least 50 other chat apps, but that's also part of the problem. So I don't know. It's impossible to choose just one. It was kind of nice because it was integrated with Google, and now they have like Android messages, or is it? They had that other thing, like was it Duo or something that they are also closing because it didn't quite work. So yeah, yeah. Google Plus is going away in a month, I believe, like April 1st. It's gone, and that's I'm not gonna really miss that part. Like I used it for some time just to test it, and yeah. Okay, I placed all the things. I assume 0 is actually here or not. Where is 0? It's gone. That's not so fun. That's not helping. What if I reopen? Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I should blame Windows or KiCad for this, but the 0, the axes were gone. Someone has to pay. So yeah, this took 2 hours to make. It should not have taken so long, but it's nice. I mean, I'm not only getting a symbol, I'm also getting a nice conversation here. No reason to complain. I don't know if I remembered what grid I made this on. So I'm curious, I just muted the microphone because I was drinking, and I'm curious, did you notice that? Like, could you hear, was the silence more silent? You know, was there no background noise, or is it not noticeable that there was something happening there? Because I think I have enabled like noise gate, so it does mute totally anyway when I'm not speaking. But I'm just curious if that's noticeable, like for future reference. And again, okay. I can't turn it off because it doesn't come back. Yep, cool. I have a noise gate indeed. Cool, thank you for letting me know. That's just, I don't know if you can see the arrow tip is actually, it's pasted, but it's like here. So that's something. Maybe I should just make a few here. Got it. Oh, KiCad sometimes feels so hacky, like you have to work. Okay, that's a bit better. You have to work around some issues. Okay, that looks good, I think. Hmm. Right. So I'm starting to understand why this was marked as in, even though it's called out, because that's like the feedback or the bug, so it knows. Yeah, to keep the correct voltage. So that's But if I mark this as out, as in, and then there will be nothing actually with the flag of power in on this net, and then ERC will complain and I will have to put like a power flag on it. So maybe it's actually better to leave it as in, but that's so hacky. Like, why do I have to sacrifice my symbols just to make KiCad ERC happy? Ugh. But then the fact that you have to place flags, that also feels super hacky. Like you put extra things on your schematic just so ERC passes. I don't like that. But you learn to live with it. And I kind of get why, because it doesn't know that it's an external power. You have to flag it, but there has to be a better way. Fine, let's do it like that. And can I move it, copy and move it easily? Very nice. Also, I misaligned it, I guess. No? So is this one? Yeah, this one is misaligned. Now we lost a viewer who left without saying goodbye. I see YouTube is complaining about my resolution because the monitor I'm using, it's like, what is it, 16 by 10, not 16 by 9, so it's not full HD, it's 1050p, and that probably is not so fun for YouTube later. It's complaining at me, but I don't think I'm gonna get a new monitor just to stream in full HD. Right, I forgot to align in the middle. Oh no. I think this is a good place to stop right now. Let me just rename these, because now it's gonna be just a lot of drawing and so on, and getting a bit late. So let's leave that for the next time. There's gonna be a stream of me drawing in KiCad, and not even schematics, just symbols, like not even symbols, just graphics inside symbols. Does that count as an art stream somehow? I don't know. Okay. Can put this on Twitter. Cool. So I'm gonna finish for now. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thank you for watching. If you're watching in the archives, whatever. Yep, it's an art stream. Next time, art stream. Cool. Thanks, and see you around.